And this is almost impossible to speak after everything that has been said. I feel a little bit at a loss, and I feel like I don't have the right words for it. I was asked to conclude the day, the conference, and to summarize the conference. Both are absolutely impossible. So for the summary, look at my notes. It's chaotic. I've added words every 5 minutes to try and interpret what has been said today. And a conclusion doesn't really correspond to what happened today, because it imposes a limit and ending. And we have seen that when we talk about children, it's extremely cross-cutting. It's breaking the borders. And even you in the audience, you're extremely diverse. You have people who are creating performances, visual artists, people from museums, libraries, experts in early childhood, in cities, so a very broad diversity that is breaking all obstacles. We have invited sociologists, and I'm going to name them: Julien Vitores and Cora Cohen-Azria, who have helped us bringing some nuance on all the prejudice, the misconceptions that we have on childhood, and they're very often due to the myths that we have heard in early childhood. So we've questioned, we've challenged, we've put all those preconceived ideas into perspective so that we can multiply points of view. The past 2 days for us at Universcience, and we hope for you too, who attended those 2 days, it was extremely refreshing, and it helped us think outside the box. It helped us question our practices in a joyful way. And we did it through many examples. As I said, it was an impossible summary for me, so I'll just use the title of the conference. The conference showed me that we had it all wrong. The title is rubbish. Well, it's good to realize it afterwards. It didn't prevent you from coming, so that's slightly reassuring, but it's going to be a way of remembering what we have said. We've talked about children. So from the second presentation on, we have understood that this was too much of a restrictive term, and we weren't talking about children, but rather a multitude of singularities that are reacting differently depending on ages, locations, conditions in which we are creating with children, talking to children. So it's necessary that we change the precision of our viewpoint so that we can multiply the proposals that we're making to them, multiplying authentic approaches and cultivate the diversity of stories. Of course, I have loved the idea of a plurality, a diversity of stories that we can tell. Children, we've got it all wrong by focusing on children, because as it turned out, in every discussion, we realize that when we speak about children, we speak about the people who are accompanying them. When we speak about children, we speak about adults. So there's a sort of co-fertilization of one group from the other without being able to identify where it started, where it ended, where the dynamic ended. This co-fertilization shouldn't prevent us from remembering where the responsibility lies. So yes, there is a responsibility. We need to deserve the trust that there entrusting us with, and that's how we might be able to work with children in a correct manner. And of course, I'm going to talk about all the co-design discussions that took place, and I think that we all grew older from it. Growing up is a bit of an empty word. Words that can mean many different, can have many different meanings, and we feel that when we use this word, that it just happens very naturally, as if it was a plant growing when you pour water on it. But that's not how it happens. We just don't want them to just grow up. And Brune has translated in a very original manner the word empowerment, empouvoirment in French, and actually great, because usually we use another translation, capacitation, which is not very nice. And so with empouvoirment, it added a hint of magic. And again, the last discussion warned us on the use of the word power. Usually when you talk about power, there's a power balance that is involved, and I prefer the word puissance, which is the same translation into English, power. So I'd say that we need to cultivate this power to increase this power as an audience, our own power, so that we are more present in the world, so that we can continue to be astonished. Astonishment that is used instead of curiosity was quite interesting as well, because curiosity is now used very regularly. So it's a way of creating our own present and our own future, a way of being dynamic. And this is how I perceive our role to help growing. And our discussions have helped us think about our role, remain humble when we consider that we must help children grow. And actually they are directly involved in this process of growing up. Culture, well, the role of culture, as you've noticed, we have gone beyond the role of culture in our debates. We've talked about education, school, policy, politics, and the limits, the borders between those different fields are much more permeable nowadays between culture, politics, and that's better this way. And so I'm taking the risk of suggesting a monstrous title, but that might be a better summary of what we have done, built together today. And so this will become: how can children and adults co-develop their cultural DNA so that they can multiply their desire and their power to act? I feel that that could be a good summary, but of course, as you've understood, to help children grow up, it's more attractive. As I said, I didn't want to conclude this conference because I don't want it to have an end. There's no reason for it to end. We've started a discussion amongst each other with you, and maybe not enough interactions with you. So here you've got a contact, an email address you can use so that you can send your feedback, your opinion about the conference, the question you wanted to ask that you should have asked. And I don't have a specific suggestion on the format of this interaction, but we thought that maybe we had planted a seed and that maybe we can do something about it. There will be recordings available. The introduction presentations, you can find them on our website. We've recorded it all. We did it a little bit without knowing what we were going to do with it. But we were certain, considering the people we were inviting, we considered that it was going to be fascinating. And this raw material exists. And so that's also an invite to think. And once again, you've got an email address to exchange with us. So it's an invitation to think about what we have talked about in the past 2 days and make it evolve, grow. As I said, I'm going to be brief. But before we leave, I'd like to thank some people. First of all, I'd like to thank Brune Bottero from the bottom of my heart. She did an amazing work. She has been fully engaged in the organization of those 2 days. She's suggested lots of new ideas. She suggested the intervention of our guests, our 3 guests who were recorded. So that was Brune's idea. She gave pace, rhythm to those 2 days. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the technical staff. We never talk about them, but it might come across as very simple. But thank you to the Universcience technical staff for their work. Well done. Congratulations. I'd like to help I would like to name the 2 people who took care of the organization of those 2 days. Lisa, she's hating me for naming her. Margot, same. And I don't know if Flora is in the room. Flora is not in the room, but she also deserves this. They're the kingpins of those 2 days. They've passed on the microphone, but they've done much more than this. They've truly built those 2 days, thinking about the themes, finding the speakers, convincing them to intervene. They agreed. And then making sure that it was all very simple and the logistics were very simple. It was an enormous amount of time and work.
Merci à vous. J'espère que vous repartez plein d'idées.
Thank you, the audience, and to make the most of our museum, of our spaces, and come back soon. Bye.